Hi, thank you for being here. My name is Val Aranda, and I am with a wonderful live real estate group here in San Antonio, Texas, and we're brokered with eXp Realty. I wanted to give just this short video to go over some highlights of how to buy your first home. So, first off, congratulations for making the big decision to take this step. I appreciate you reaching out to us, and I promise from this moment on, we will walk you through the entire process, answer all of your questions, and make sure that you are a confident buyer by the time you get to the closing table. I'm sharing this video along with a short presentation, so you have some bullet points to go over later if you have uh, a moment to go back and refresh if you have any questions. But as always, you're always welcome to call me or text me at 210-378-5987. So I'm going to go through the presentation on my laptop while I video record. So this will be kind of easy to go through and hopefully answer all of your questions or even questions you didn't even think to ask. So again, my name is Val, and I've been a realtor since 1998, so just over 25 years now. I grew up as a military brat and finally settled here in San Antonio when I was in high school. I married my childhood sweetheart in 2018. We have two kids, a 24-year-old son and 19-year-old daughter, both in college right now. I am a travel enthusiast. We love to travel. I love jazz music, and I love food. So if I ever, when we set up some meetings, we're probably going to be at either a coffee shop or a little restaurant. I am dedicated to my family, my friends, and my clients. So if I'm not doing real estate, I do have a team of support to help us through the process, and I always have my phone and my laptop with me, so don't worry about that. I started in the industry in 1991. After high school, I was a drafting associate for one of the big builders here in San Antonio at the time. I went to UTSA to study architecture, got my license, as I mentioned, in 1998. Been producing real estate ever since. I love this business. I fell in love with real estate when I realized that I was really just teaching people how to buy and sell real estate. So I'm not the heavy pusher salesperson, so don't worry about that. There are over 18,000 realtors here in San Antonio, so I am honored that you are offering me the opportunity to help you through this process. What makes me unique is I coach you through the process, and there's no silly question. I remember when I purchased my first home, and I remember the anxiety that comes behind that. So usually your questions will come when you lay your head on the pillow in the evening. If there's something that's bothering you, shoot me a text. More than likely I'm up, and I'll be happy to answer your questions so that you can rest well. I submitted in the presentation a few testimonials from some recent clients, so I'll give you an opportunity to go over that on your own time. So things that I will help you with, not just finding a house. As a realtor, there's maybe some misconception as to what type of service we provide. So there's a short list in this presentation, but not only we're helping you look for the home, we'll show you and explain agency relationships. So a buyer's agent, which is what I will be for you. I represent you and your best interest at all times. And there's a seller's agent representing the seller. So if you go to a for sale by owner, you go to an open house, you're going to a builder, all of those individuals are representing the owners of those properties. So when you're walking into those by yourself, just be aware that any information you disclose can be used against you in negotiations. So it's super important to have an agent representing you, and that would be me in this case. So I am the middle person, or the person in meeting these people on your behalf, talking to these people on your behalf. So you don't have to worry about the stress of negotiating. I do that for you. Financing, I'll help you with the financing. I have some preferred lenders here that are local, and the reason why I like them is they know how I work. I'm not 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, and I make myself available even on holidays if I need to. My lenders work like I do because we have business around the clock. So it's super important, especially when making an offer, to be with a lender who is reputable and will close on time. If we are in a multiple offer situation and there is one bank who has a bad reputation and the other offer has a lender who is local with a positive reputation, the other offer will win. So I want to make sure that I put you in a winning situation from the get-go. Search tools, we have obviously, all the websites that are available to you. You can search online on your time. We create a search to do a search daily on our end as well. So I will set you up on a home search that will check the data daily and send you listings in real time, meaning a listing agent enters a property in the computer, an ARM multiple listing service called MLS. And as soon as they hit submit on that new listing, if it matches what you're looking for, you'll get that listing instantly in your email. Making an offer, again, I'm your representative, so I will talk to you about all your options and help you through the offer. So we have paragraphs that help protect you from buyer's remorse. We have paragraphs that protect your money. We have paragraphs that protect your time. So never feel like you are getting into something you can't back out of. I make sure that we have these contracts to protect you as a buyer. I want to make sure you are fully confident in the home to get to closing day. And then once your offer is accepted, of course, I help you throughout the entire contract with all the deadlines, with all the items that you need, not just on my side, but on your lender side. I team up with your lender to make sure we get you to closing on time. And then closing day, I'm there with you, signing all of your paperwork from the title companies, the attorneys that are involved, the lenders that are involved. It'll seem super overwhelming, but I promise you, by the time we get you to the closing table, all of our lingo will sound very familiar, and signing should be a piece of cake and a very, very joyous day. Finding the right home, there's some things that I'm going to need to know, and we'll do a more face-to-face or video-to-video consultation. It's more than just how many bedrooms do you need, how much, what square footage are you looking for. I want to get to know you a little bit. I want to know when you're home, what's the favorite room or space for you to be in when you're home. Do you cook? Do you go out to eat more often? Getting to know you a little bit more helps us fine-tune your search. And of course, build relationship and rapport throughout the process as well. Agency relationship was the next slide, but I've already discussed that a little bit. When it comes to your financing, there's a whole lot of things to know. So I can put in an email a little bit more specifics, but really what's super important is, again, finding the best lender that will get you fantastic financing and where the pre-approval is going to be solid. There are two letters that you can receive. One's called a pre-qualification and the other one is a pre-approval letter. A pre-qualification is, hey, Mr. Lender, I've been working at this place for 10 years. I make $60,000 a year. My rent is $1,000, and I'm just giving information to the lender, and the lender has not verified anything. Based on what is told to the lender, they can say, okay, well, from what you're telling me, I'll issue a pre-qualification letter, and as long as you provide some documents, they can verify later. The thing about that, guys, is that the pre-qualification is not worth the paper it's written on because nothing has been verified. The letter that we want is called a pre-approval letter. That means not only were the income and assets and credit things have been disclosed, but they've also been verified. The lender will call your employer. The lender will check your bank statements. The lender will check your pay stubs. Once everything is verified, then they'll provide the pre-approval letter, which is your golden ticket to get your new home. What's the difference between a bank and a broker? Mortgage banking, they are the lenders. They give you the cash for closing. A mortgage broker is someone who can shop multiple lenders with only one credit hit. So can you shop more than one broker or lender? Absolutely, and you are encouraged to do so. When you're getting a credit check from these folks, as long as you're doing it within the same 30-day time frame, your credit will only get hit once. So you are encouraged to shop more than one mortgage lender and or banker. While you're qualifying or trying to get qualified for a home purchase, you are encouraged not to apply for anything else. Don't let anyone else pull your credit. furniture, co-signing, car, all big no-nos when you're trying to buy a home. The reason is everyone who inquires on your credit will create a drop in your credit score. And if you're already at the edge of qualifying, one of those extra credit checks can bring you below qualifying status, and it can stop your home buying process. So super important to know that. Types of loans: we have loans for first-time home buyers, second buyers, investment buyers. So really, depending on what your needs are, we can help you determine the best loan for you. So if you're first-time home buyer, we have an FHA program that would require about 3.5% down payment. There's also a conventional loan that would require a 3% down payment. We also have a USDA product for financing, and that is a 0% down financing. And if you are a veteran or active duty military, there's also a VA loan with 0 down payment. Something else to know, when you hear from a lender about down payment, there's also some other costs to associate with home buying. There is down payment, closing costs, prepaids, and upfront expenses. Your down payment is from one of the loan products that I just mentioned. Closing costs is what it costs to buy a house with the lender. The closing cost that they're charging is different depending on who your lender is. Then you have prepaids. Prepaids are your taxes and insurance that are prorated at the closing day. So if you're hearing from a lender you need X amount of money for closing for down payment, make sure they're also including closing costs, prepaids. Your upfront expenses, we'll get into more detail when we sit to make your offer, but you need money for earnest money, which is 1%, typical right now. 1% of your sales price is earnest money. That is good faith money to the seller to say, hey, I'm serious about buying your home. I'm depositing this into an escrow account, and then on closing day, that money is applied towards your closing costs, okay? So earnest money, a fee called a termination option fee. This is a fee that you pay the seller to say, hey, take your house off the market for a week, and it allows you to do your due diligence, have your home inspections, negotiate repairs, renegotiate the price depending on how the inspection came. If the seller agrees to the terms that you requested, then you move forward and you order the appraisal and get you to closing. I'll explain all that process later too. The other fee is the inspection fee, and then the appraisal fee. So earnest money, 1%. Option fee, probably about $10 to $25 a day for up to 10 days is pretty common. Then you have the inspection fee, runs right now in San Antonio approximately $385 and up, depending on what you are inspecting. So if you have a sprinkler system to check, a pool to check, those are all add-ons. And then your appraisal. The appraisal can be anywhere from $650 and up, and depends on the lender. You may either have to pay it up front, or you may be able to pay it at closing. So those are some costs to be prepared for before you even tour a home. Because if you tour a home and you love it, you're going to want to make an offer. Homes in good condition and a great price don't last long. So you want to make sure you have that cash readily available to make your offer. So when your offer is accepted, those deposits are happening fairly quickly. Credit, some people get concerned about credit. So one thing to know is for some of the best rates, it's suggested that you are at least a 620 FICO score when you start the process for buying a home. And the lender you pick will help you with that. There are 3 credit bureaus that the lenders will look at: Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Those are the most popular ones. All 3 will have or show a different credit score. The lender uses the middle of the 3 scores. So they don't use the highest, they don't use the lowest. They'll use the middle FICO score to determine your eligibility. If you're married, they use the lowest FICO score between the 2 individuals, okay? So 620 and above will get you some of the best rates. 700 and above gives you the absolute best rate. There are some loan products for scores as low as 580. If you're a veteran, scores really don't matter, but they do look at how you manage your debt compared to your income. So that's the gist of financing. Search tools, when you go through this presentation, I have a list of some websites that you can use. Making an offer, again, I help you determine what's a good offer price. And really the first thing is to determine what are houses selling for in the same subdivision you're considering with similar square footage, similar features. If it's a one-story, I'm comparing to other one-stories. What did they sell for in the past 90 days? We get an average of that, or we get a comparison of those and determine, okay, the house you're considering is listed too low. Let's jump on that. Listed just right or listed too high. And with those numbers, I hope you put an offer together so that you're getting a great deal for yourself. Once your offer is accepted, I handle the whole process for you on your behalf. Everything that we go through, we will communicate with you entirely and thoroughly. Let's see what else here. That's about it. That is the gist of it. There's a lot more details, but again, when we're sitting face to face, I'll go over this again with more information for you. But hopefully that gives you enough information to understand what the process is going to look like, what to expect, how much money to have ready to even get started, down payment, closing costs, prepaids, upfront cash. The upfront cash is really important for us to know that you are ready to go. We do have down payment assistance programs for your down payment if you don't have that cash available. So on a $250,000 house, for example, your down payment would be 3.5% of that. I don't have a calculator readily available, so or else I'd calculate that for you, but 250,000, multiply that times 3.5%, and that is a down payment you should have saved in case you need it. If you don't have it, we can see if you are eligible for down payment assistance. Down payment assistance can be anywhere from 3.5% up to 5%. So what that means is not only can it cover your down payment, but it can probably cover some of your closing costs as well. And the way the market is working today, and this is September 12th in 2023, we're able to negotiate with sellers to actually pay some of or a lot of your closing costs right now. So we'll talk a little more in depth about that later. If you have any questions, please give me a call, 210-378-5987. You're welcome to call me, text me, day or night, 7 days a week. My email is perfecthomefinder@gmail.com. Hopefully we get to meet soon, and thank you for taking the time to go over this video with me. All right, bye.